두 눈동자여 지난 모든 기억들을 지워줘.
Hey guys, and welcome back to another episode of State or Survival with StickyFang Gaming. And I just want to welcome you to 2020. Happy New Year's and happy holidays if you're a Westerner. If you're, an Eastern player in Chinese, other Asian countries, happy almost New Year to you guys. You guys have about a month left. But welcome back to my channel. It's been about 2 weeks since I've last uploaded, and it was just kind of busy for me with the holidays and everything. So I do appreciate everyone being patient, and I should be able to upload a little bit more frequently now. So without further ado, here is a long-awaited and very highly requested video that you guys have been asking for, and it is the hero breakdowns for State of Survival. So we're going to go over all of the blue rare heroes, the purple epic heroes, and then all of the orange legendary heroes that are currently out for the game. And because we're basing it off of my specific heroes, your stats may be a little bit different, but we'll basically just kind of be going off of what I have for my account right now. So without further ado, let's get started. First up for review will be Ghost, who is one of the rare characters. This is a screenshot from my personal account. Just making videos of these characters was a little bit too much for this video. It's already been taking me forever to make it. But so he is a rider gather hero. My Ghost is level 60, so these stats will be based off of that. For explorer stats, he has a health of 41.3 thousand, and then his attack is 735 and defense is 874. And as we go down this list of all the heroes, you can kind of compare and contrast of who's better for what, who has more health, who has more attack, etc. And I've seen that this is kind of a low stat in general for all the heroes. His health is kind of low, his attack and defense are both kind of low, so I wouldn't recommend using Ghost. And then mine is level 60, so if that's a level 60 Ghost, I don't see it getting too much stronger any higher than that. Now looking at his military stats, his March cap currently is 7.4 thousand. His rider attack is 66.65%. Rider defense is also 66.65%. He has a extra boost for gas gathering speed, which goes into that gathering trait that he has. And so that is an extra 10% for your gathering speed. Not a whole lot, but in a game like this, anything helps. So an extra 10% speed if you use him to go gather your gas. His rider lethality is actually kind of high, so it's at 78.25%, and then his rider health is at 59.65%, and again, this is based off of a level 60. His abilities are kind of weird, and a lot of these abilities will be weird when we're talking about military stuff. I'm not going to talk about the abilities for Explorer because I don't really use Explorer like that, so I don't even want to waste my time on it. But for his abilities, his troop health will be boosted 20%. His troop damage will be boosted by 16%, and then he has a critical chance of 24%. And so that is Ghost in a nutshell. Next up, we have Rusty. I have seen a lot of screenshots from Discord, Facebook, Line. A lot of people really like Rusty. I personally don't care for him because, again, he's a rare hero, and to me, they just don't give enough of an impact for how much you have to grind to level him up. My Rusty is not maxed out. He's only level 60. I know most people have level 70, so your stats will be a little bit higher than mine, which is okay. But for his Explorer stats, he is at 52.7 thousand. His attack is 911, and his defense is 858. So you can already see that if you're comparing the two rare heroes, Ghost and Rusty, Rusty is better than Ghost in all three of those different areas. Actually, I lied. Rusty's defense is just slightly lower than Ghost's, but again, it's not much to really make that big of a difference. So going into Rusty's military stats, he's going to have 7.4 thousand march capacity with 66.65% infantry attack. The same for infantry defense. Infantry lethality is going to be 78.25%, and then also his infantry health is 63.4%. The biggest caveat with Rusty is he has that extra stat for gathering, and for him, he has metal gathering speed for 10%. So you know how Ghost had the gas gathering speed for 10%, well, Rusty has the metal. So if you are a big farmer, you need to make sure that you are utilizing these two heroes in the proper areas. So Ghost is going to be for gas, and then Rusty is going to be for metal. So you can kind of put that together because Ghost, Ghost are usually, like vapor, gas, Ghost, and then Rusty, metal, rust, Rusty. You see how they try to do a play on words there. So if you ever need to remember, that's probably going to be the best way to do it. Now going into his abilities for his military stats, again, super weird. Not really sure how it translates when it comes to reports, but he has an impact blast percent for 16%. Question mark. His troop damage is 20%, and then damage received is negative 16%. So besides the impact blast, that is 16%, which I don't really understand. Everything else looks pretty good with Rusty. Again, he's not my favorite. Other people love him, and that's great. But yeah, so moving on to Travis. Travis is a rider slash infected hero. He's another one of those fan favorites, but for me, I don't really care for the grind to get him leveled up because you have to do the infected backpack finding thing, and it's a hassle for me. So my Travis is only level 50. His health is 40.8% or 40.8 thousand for Explorer, 712 attack, and then 863 defense for Explorer. So even though he is an epic hero, he is lower than both Ghost and Rusty when you compare the stats. But again, mine is only level 50, and my Ghost and Rusty are both level 60. So that's kind of be expected. Travis does, however, have better military stats, at least when it comes to march capacity. He has 8.5 thousand march capacity. His rider attack is 55.25%, same with his rider defense. He has a specialty percentage for troop infected lethality. A lot of people have questions about lethality, and I kind of go over that a little bit at the end of this video, just so I can get through the hero stuff because there's so much to talk about. But his troop infected lethality is currently 34.5% when it comes to the level 50. His troop infected march speed is 53%, which is kind of cool because those marches can sometimes be a little bit slow. And then another really big thing for Travis, which I think is why a lot of people like him, is his chief stamina consumption rate is negative 20%. So you know how sometimes it takes 20 stamina to go kill an infected. So 20% of that would be public math, 16 stamina, I guess I would say. So you get to save a little bit of your stamina, and maybe it really helps out some players who are really big into going and killing infected. So his rider lethality is 78.25%. His rider health is 59.65%. And then going to his abilities for military stats, he has a stun chance of 12%, troop damage of 160%, which is nuts, but I don't ever see that showing up in reports. And then his critical chance percent is 12%. So again, Travis is a decent one. A lot of people like him. Personally, I don't find the grind appealing enough to get Travis a higher level. So yeah, my Travis is on level 50. He probably will stay there for quite a bit. And moving on to the next hero, we have Chef. Chef is up next, so let's do this. So Chef is not my strongest hero. He's only level 52, but I do find that he's my guilty pleasure, as in if I don't do any of my other daily hits for fragments of these heroes, to upgrade them and whatnot, I will do Chef. I'm not sure what attracts me to him. Maybe it's the wood gathering speed that we'll talk about here in a second, but I do really try to grind for Chef, even though he's in level 52. So just going into it, Chef is an infantry gather specialist. My Chef again is level 52. His health is 60.4 thousand. His attack is 1.1 thousand, and his defense is also 1,000. And this is off of Explorer. Going into his military stuff, his march cap is 8.9 thousand. Infantry attack is 93.05%. Same thing for infantry defense. His infantry lethality is 89.45%, which is really good. And then his infantry health is also 74.55%. So two really big things with that. His lethality and his health is really good. and it's only level 52. So I highly recommend using Chef if you don't have any other higher level heroes that can kind of beat those. The big thing with him, again, is what I was talking about. He has a wood gathering speed boost percentage of 14.3%, which again is not a whole lot, but in this game, anything helps, especially when it comes to gathering, to help with those big upgrades that I know you guys have. So going into his abilities, and looking at the military side of things, he can boost the troop health percent by 9. So that's pretty decent. Again, anything helps with this kind of game. Troop damage 160%. Again, a little bit iffy because I've never seen that in a report. And then he also can do an additional troop damage of 15%, based off of some type of requirements that you have to do or some type of minuscule chance. Again, super iffy. The abilities are not very clear with any of these characters, but that is what they gave us. So that's Chef. We're going to go right on to Jane now. Jane is probably the easiest hero in the game to farm fragments for. You can get her fragments daily through plague zones. You can get them through epic chests, which you can see here on the screen now. You can get her through plague zone chest, which you also get daily for just like doing one plague zone. They'll give you a chest, and it can be level 1, 2, 3, or 4, which has her fragments or any other fragments or Maddie and Frank fragments, which are pretty good rewards. But yeah, she's super easy to level up. Like, I haven't even tried to level up my Jane. I actually find her kind of annoying just for personal reasons. But anyway, and she's already 65, you know. I'm pretty sure she'll probably be a general here pretty soon, and I'll max her out eventually. But she is a rider infected specialist. Her health for Explorer is 53.1 thousand. Her attack is 975, and then her defense is 1.1 thousand, which all in all is pretty decent. But Chef is actually better than her at just level 52, so that kind of tells you that Jane is overrated. Again, personal vendetta against her. Going into military stats, March cap is 10.2 thousand. Rider attack is 110.5. Rider defensive is the same. Rider lethality is 78.25, and then her rider health is 59.65. So some pretty good stats, even though she's level 65, so it's kind of to be expected at that point. Her big boost stat is going to be her troop infected health for 55.2%. So Jane is a big help when you're doing plague zones, when you're doing the the influencer trap. She'll be pretty good for that because she has to boost against infected. If you're a big farmer and you like kill a whole bunch of infected, then Jane's your girl. You know, I would highly recommend using her. But in a war situation, I probably would stay away from her. Her abilities are kind of weird. However, I'm going to go ahead and go over them. She has a wire fence chance of 12%, so not really sure what that means. Troop damage is 24%, and her lasso bind is a 12% chance as well. So 2 out of her 3 abilities don't really make a whole lot of sense, but that is Jane. So going into Mike. I personally like Mike. I think I have a thing for the heroes that have like gather boost. I used to be a big farmer myself, and I still am, even though I have billions of resources. I just like it. I don't know. But besides that, Mike is a hunter slash gatherer hero. My Mike is currently level 52, and you can farm his fragments daily through the daily intel. So it's pretty easy to upgrade him if you grind it every day. His health is at 33.4 thousand, attack is 2.2 thousand, and defense is 1,000 for Explorer, which are really good stats. Actually, I think I might be wrong. I think that might not be that great. I'm actually using the Excel spreadsheet so I can compare while I'm actually doing this video. And Mike stats aren't that great for Explorer, so I don't recommend using Mike for Explorer. His March cap for military is 8.9 thousand. His hunter attack is 88.85%. His hunter defense is also 88.5%. His hunter lethality is actually pretty good at 89.45%, and his hunter health is 74.55%. The big stat boost with Mike is actually, again, he's a gatherer, so it'd be food gathering speed boost of 13.6%. Again, not super big, and you can also just go ahead and do 100% farming boost from your settlement But 13.6% is better than nothing. So I would recommend using Mike if you need to go ahead and gather some food. And his 3 military abilities are enemy stun chance of 12%. Really, I don't understand that because you don't see that in reports. Troop damage received negative 30%, which is really cool because you don't see a whole lot of troop damage received negatives. But I haven't seen that in the report either from me using him. So interesting. And then he has a critical chance of 18% and brings up another good point for most of these abilities for most of these heroes. Not really understanding where this is coming from because you don't see critical hits or anything like that within stats or within the reports. So if anybody can tell me how that works, that'd be great. Just leave a comment below. We're going to go ahead and go and talk about Sarge next. So Sarge is actually the mascot for the game, or at least he was when the game first came out. It might be Maddie and Frank now, but you can get Sarge fragments pretty easily as well. He has a daily rally that you do in the daily intel section, and he's a hunter infected specialist. My Sarge is currently level 51. He's currently level 51. He could be a lot higher, but I don't really focus on him too much, and you'll kind of see why here in a second. So his health is 34.1% or 34.1 thousand. His attack is 2.2 thousand. His defense is 1,000 for Explorer. Again, not super great when you compare them to the rest of the heroes, especially when we get to the legendaries here in a moment. You'll see that the epics and the rares don't really stand up too much. His military stats, he has a march cap of 8.7 thousand. His hunter attack is 93.5%. Hunter defense is also the same. His hunter lethality is 89.5%. His hunter health is 74.55%. So pretty decent stats. Not super amazing, not super like I need to max him out right now and get him to level 70 because he's going to be my main guy, not Sarge. So even though he's the mascot, he's not the best player in the game or not the best hero in the game. His big stat that makes him special is he has a troop infected defense stat of 93.5%, which is actually pretty big. However, it's against affected. So it'll be useful for influencer trap, plague zones, farming infected and stuff. He's your guy, but that's not really useful when it comes to PvP. His 3 abilities can give you a troop health percent boost of 15%, troop damage of 20%, and then a critical chance of 18%. But again, we don't really understand what the critical chance does. So that is Sarge. Next up, we are going to be going over Eva. Deliver Me from Eva. That is a movie reference for you guys who don't know from a movie in the early 2000s. I highly recommend it. And yeah, so going into it, she is a hunter slash siege specialist and is one of my favorites, but I also am a hunter fanboy. So I like most of the hunter heroes besides Sarge. She is a level 55. She's also pretty easy to upgrade because you can farm her fragments daily and you can get them pretty much through any chest. Her explorer stats are 37,000 health, 2.5 thousand attack, and then 1.1 thousand defense, which is, decent, better than some of the other epic heroes. But again, she also is a little bit stronger than them level wise. So her march cap for her military stats is 9.3 thousand. Her hunter attack is 105.55%, which is really nice. Same thing for her hunter defense. So get into those triple digits now. Her hunter lethality is 89.45%, and hunter health is 74.55%, the same as Sarge and the same as Mike. But her big thing is that she gives an enemy settlement troop health negative stat of 15.8%. So if someone actually attacks you, their enemy troops health will be reduced by 15.8%, which again is not super big. However, if you're facing someone close in stats with you, that can be a game changer. So looking at her military ability stats, she has a 25% chance to deal 180% damage. Not sure how that works. It's there. You can read it in the game. That's what it says. So I guess she can do that. Her troop damage, she has another ability that can increase troop damage by 25%. So that'll be useful, but don't really see that in reports. And then she has a trap effect of 72%. Didn't really understand that. If you read it, it says that it boosts her trap effect by 72%. If someone can kind of interpret that for me, that'd be great. But yeah, that's Eva. So next up, we're going to talk about Nikola, which is actually a pretty hard hero to get. So as most of you probably can guess, this hero is based off of Nikola Tesla, the quote unquote kind of inventor of like electricity and electric power and stuff, but his inventions were stolen by Thomas Jefferson or Thomas Edison. And don't judge me for not knowing my history correctly, but anyway, he is one of the stronger infantry heroes in the game. He's a legendary, and his main abilities or his main buffs are infantry, infected, and rally. My Nikola is a level 55. His health is 76.1 thousand, so again, already leaps and bounds ahead of epics and rares. His attack is 1.4 thousand, and his defense is 1.3 thousand when it comes to Explorer. His March cap is 11.7 thousand. His infantry attack is 144.4%. Same thing with the defense. And then his infantry lethality is 89.45%, and infantry health is 74.55%. The big stat buff for Nikola is his rally troop defense, which is 14.45%. So he's going to be a great hero to use if you are planning to attack someone. You'll get that little extra buff if you are rallying with your teammates. The reason why I say that Nikola is a hard hero to get is because if you're in a newer state, I believe there's about 80 to 90 something states now. I think states like 40 and younger, so 40 through 90, are able to get Nikola through survival of the fittest, which is great. I definitely recommend you guys pushing yourselves to get top 10 to get those fragments. You can also get him through the daily purchasable crates if you're in those younger regions. However, for anyone who's in the older regions like state 11, which I'm in, you can't get Nikola through those means anymore. You have to find him through the advanced hero searches, which cost those purple hero maps and stuff. So he'd be a little bit harder to farm. So again, definitely recommend you guys getting him while you can in survival of the fittest. That's how I got mine, and he's only level 55 because I can't really farm his fragments. I can use the legendary fragments that you can change into any hero. I can, but would it really be worth it? So he'll probably be level 55 or 60 because I can push him up to 60 for quite a while. Now, I did skip his military ability, so I'm going to go back and talk about that now. His abilities give a troop health percent boost of 15%. He has another ability that can boost troop damage up to 160%. And then he has a stun chance of 12%. So all of those are pretty nice abilities. Again, I highly recommend you getting Nikola if you are able to, if you're in a younger state. He will come in great handy once you are able to get him up a couple levels high. I mean, just looking at comparing him to Eva is 105.55% stats at 55, and Nikola's at 144%. Like, that's a pretty significant change from the epic Eva and then the legendary Nikola, And you'll see even more stat differences within the other legendary heroes that we're about to go over. So next up, we're going to talk about Rey and Rolex, which you guys are going to be like probably bashing me about in the comments, but let's go ahead and get right into it. So yes, my Rey and Rolex are level 65. This picture is a little bit outdated. He's now 65. He's now a complete colonel. Yes, I know that you can only get Rey and Rolex if you're getting VIP, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, etc. I am VIP 11. Yes, I have put a couple dollars. Yes, you will not get Rey and Rolex unless you do the same. But I'm not ashamed. I like the hero. And let's just talk about it. Let's just be nice, guys. Just be nice in the comments. Let me live my life. All right. So he is an infantry, patrol, and siege hero. He is level 65 currently. His health is 93.2 thousand, 1.7 thousand for attack, and then his defense is 1.6 thousand. So by far, Rey and Rolex has the highest health out of the heroes I've gone over so far, and that's for explorers specifically. If you're a big explorer kind of person, which I'm sure not many people are. His March cap for military is 12.8 thousand. His infantry attack is a whopping 188.55%. His infantry defense is again a whopping 188.55%. He is a very strong player, very, very strong hero. His infantry lethality is 89.45%, and his infantry health is at 74.55%. The two big stat buffs that they give Rey Rolex, which is great because he gets two of them, is first, his enemy troop settlement attack is negative 26.95%. So basically what that means is that if someone attacks your settlement, if someone attacks your HQ, they will get a negative stat buff of 26.95%, which is very useful. There was one earlier that we talked about with one of the other heroes, and it was nowhere near that large. So he's a pretty good hero again. His second one is settlement troop defense is 53.85%. So if someone attacks you, not only do they lose some of their attack percentage, you will also gain an extra defense percentage. So he's a great guy to keep at home. You can attack with him if you want to, great, fine. He has great stats, but he's very useful if you keep him at home, okay? His abilities kind of don't make sense, but we're going to go over them really quick for military. Firebomb chance of 20%. Not sure what a firebomb would even do, but there's that. He has a stun chance of 12%. Again, doesn't make a lot of sense. And critical chance of 24%. Again, whatever. All right, those are his abilities. Next up, the cutie pie, Maddie, and her loyal pup, Frank. So I mentioned it a little bit earlier that I believe Maddie and Frank are the new mascots for the game, just because on the loading screen now for this Christmas edition that they have right now, they're like front and center, and you get to see Frank with his little tongue all sticking out, and they're just adorable. So actually he's been my favorite hero, but I'll talk about who's my new favorite right now or later on. So they are a rider, patrol, and rally specialist hero. They're currently level 60. Their health is 63.6 thousand for explorer. Their attack is 1.3 thousand, and their defense is 1.4 thousand, all for explorer. Their march cap for military is 12.3 thousand. And then you go into the other military stats of rider attack for 164.75%. The same is for rider defense. Their rider lethality is 78.25%, and then their rider health is 59.65%. And again, this is all for level 60. Maddie and Frank is another legendary hero that actually gets two buffs that are additional to those other stats. And so that is going to be the settlement troop attack at 49.4%, which basically means if you're going to attack someone else's, or actually, if you get attacked, if someone attacks you, you get an extra 49.4%, which is basically 50% attack buff, which is really useful, especially if you're facing a strong opponent and they decide to hit you at home for whatever reason. The other buff that she has is rally troop attack 16.45%. So not only is Maddie and Frank good for defending your city, they are also very good if you are a rally leader within your state, or if you're going out with your friends for kill event and maybe you just want to try them out and see if that 16.45% actually makes a difference. I highly recommend Maddie and Frank. I think I use them quite often. They're in my secondary team. So her abilities for military also are a little bit goofy, but she has a 20% chance of 30% troop damage increase. So yeah, her troop damage, or her second ability is troop damage is 20%. So really, in all, if you get that 20% chance of 30% troop damage increase, which is a tongue twister, you can get up to 50% troop damage increase, which is great. If you can actually see that on the reports. Anyway, the other ability she has is going to be her critical chance of 18%, which again, I don't really understand that, but we're going to let it slide anyway. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is Maddie and Frank. Now we're getting to some of the really fun heroes to talk about. So one of the newer heroes we're going to get to is Trish. Trish is one of the 3 new heroes that only came out maybe like a month and a half ago. They didn't come out with the original heroes, but that the game came with. She is a rider, siege, and patrol hero. She looks like she's some type of nurse because in the Explorer, she actually can heal, the different heroes that you're using, but we're not going to talk about that. Her Explorer stats are 73.7 thousand%, or 7,000, whatever. Her attack is 1.3 thousand. Her defense is 1.6 thousand, which is pretty decent when you compare it to all the other heroes we've talked about so far. Her march cap for military is 12.8 thousand. Her rider attack is 191.35%. Right now, after going over all the heroes we've gone over so far, she right now has the highest stats out of all the heroes I've gone over. And she's level 65, so don't get me wrong, she's pretty high level, but come on. That's almost 200%. And she's not even my strongest hero. We're going to get to that here in a second. But her rider lethality is 78.25%. Her rider health is 59.65%. And then she also has two buffs. The first one is enemy settlement troop attack, negative 28.1%. So basically, if someone attacks your settlement or your HQ, whatever you want to call it, they will lose 28.1% of their troop stat buff or their attack buff. Their second ability is going to be settlement troop lethality. So if someone attacks you, not only do they lose that attack percentage from that first extra buff, you also get an extra 56.3% troop lethality. And let me tell you something about troop lethality. And I was going to say this for the end of the video, but I'm going to mention it now briefly. Troop lethality and troop health are going to be some of the two most important stats you need to upgrade for you to be successful. And I'll give you a reason why at the end of the video. But yes, really focus on that troop lethality and that troop health. I promise you you won't regret it. And that is why Trish is actually one of the best heroes in the game right now. That extra 56.3% troop lethality, it is insane. I promise you, it is a game changer. Keep her at home. Do not send her away. She will save your life. And that is exactly why she's a nurse, because she will just save you. It's crazy. Anyway, her three abilities for military is going to be a troop health of 15% buff. She has a troop damage of 160% buff. And then she has a 12% chance to freeze enemies. Again, not really sure what that means. You don't really see a freeze enemy stat when you're attacking or defending from someone. So that is one of her abilities. But yeah. Now on to my absolute favorite hero in the game right now. My main man, Wolfe. And yes, I know I did him dirty getting this terrible screenshot. Don't judge me. I'm just trying to get this video done. My Wolfe is actually not a level 65 anymore. He's a level 69. I was able to finally get him maxed out due to the last state of survival event that we had, or survival of the fittest, excuse me. And he's actually a general now, and he's a level 69. So, yay. And we're going to go over his new boosted stats. So, Wolfe is an infantry, patrol, and rally specialist. And for the Explorer, he has 104.7 thousand health. Like, just absolutely crazy. And I believe he is the highest health hero for Explorer, and at least my arsenal. And again, he is like a super high level, so that's to be expected. His attack is 2,000, which again is extremely high. And there's only one hero who has a higher one than that, I believe. And then his defense is 1.8 thousand. So great. If you're an explorer kind of person, go for Wolfe. He's my favorite. Might be yours too. His March cap is 13,000, which is extremely high. His infantry attack is 222. Got me tripping on my words because it's so high. 222.35 infantry attack, and the same thing for infantry defense. So he's a very strong character. If you can get him high enough, if you're one of those big players, Wolfe is the way to go, in my opinion. Even if you're a smaller player, I definitely recommend working on getting him. You can get him through the daily packs that you can purchase, or by getting top 10 within survival of the fittest. I did survival of the fittest route just because, one, it's more fun for me that way to like earn him by beating other people, and then two, you get like 300 fragments if you come in first place, so that's great. His infantry lethality is 89.45%, and his infantry health is 74.55%. So again, pretty good stats overall with those. And his two buffs, which is great, is settlement troop health 63.5%. So if you get attacked, you get an extra percentage for your health, which is 63.5. And again, remember I talked about that lethality and health are some of the two biggest things that you want to focus on and he gives you a huge health bonus if you keep him at home. He's also good for rallying though, because he has a rally troop lethality of 21.15%. So if you want to use Wolfe as your main attack guy, which is okay because I do the same thing, he will boost your lethality by 21.15% if you get him high enough. So again, highly recommended, great for attack and defense. And then if you look at his abilities, are pretty decent as well. So one of his abilities gives a troop health of 15%. So again, that's boosting that very critical stat. His troop damage goes up by 30%. We don't really get that, but whatever. And then 25% chance of doing 180% damage, which can equal up to 210% damage total given through his abilities, which is great if we could see that damage stat. Wink, wink. Common trend here, you know. All right, next up is going to be Jeb, which seems to be a lot of the top tier players' favorite character. So we'll look into that now. So Jeb is an extremely hard character to get, first off, and then he's an extremely hard character to upgrade, second off. And why, you ask? Because you have to spend money to get Jeb. And so there is a trick around it, because you notice my Jeb is level 60, and let me tell you, I did not put crazy money into boosting Jeb. Some people did. Some people have level 70 Jebs, and I promise you, they probably spend an arm and a leg. But here's what I did. I spent a few bucks to unlock Jeb. I think I needed like 10 fragments or something crazy simple like that. So I got like 10 fragments of Jeb, and then what I had was about 200 or so of the legendary fragments that you can convert into any hero. And I used all of my legendary fragments that I had into boosting up Jeb. And so that's kind of a way to get around it. It might have been more than 200, but I used quite a bit. I used whatever I had. And so now my Jeb is level 60. I can't get him past that because I don't have any more legendary fragments. And this was, I believe, before they did the update where you can upgrade in increments. So it was a little bit easier back then. But yeah, so my Jeb is level 60, and that's a little trick if you want Jeb, but you don't want to drop Uber's amount of money to get him and then level him up. Spend a few bucks to unlock him, and then go ahead and use your legendary fragments to upgrade him. He was the only person in my entire team that I will use all my legendary fragments for to get him to that level. And it was a great idea that I think that I had. You know, maybe you guys can be like, you know, shut up, Sticky. I have Uber's amount of money to drop and use real fragments for him. Well, great. I'm so very proud of you. But anyway, his health is 45.4 thousand, his attack is 2.9 thousand, and his defense is 1.3 thousand, and that's for Explorer, if you're an Explorer person. His military might or stats is going to be March cap of 12.3 thousand, his Hunter attack is 159.2, which is really good, and then his Hunter defense is also 159.2%. His Hunter lethality is 89.45%, and his Hunter health is 74.55%. And then he only has, actually, no, I lied. He has 2 buffs. He has the enemy settlement troop lethality that gives a negative 21.7% to the enemy. So if someone hits you, they will lose lethality of negative 21.7%. So that is a big deal because, again, lethality and health, the 2 biggest stats. If that person will lose a 21% of their lethality, that can be a game changer. So Jeb is pretty decent if you are willing to do what you have to do to get him to a decent level. He also has a rally troop attack of 15.45%. So if you wanted to use him as a heavy hitter or like a rally leader, that's great. 15.45% isn't a game-changing stat boost, especially not for an attack stat. So my recommendation would be to keep Jeb at home and keep him as a strictly defensive player, okay? His 3 abilities for military give him a critical chance boost of 12%. His troop damage goes up by 15% from one of his abilities, and then his damage received is negative 12%, which is interesting because you only see damage received, I think, 1 or 2 other times when it comes to heroes. So that's pretty decent. So again, I will keep him at home for defense purposes. And then last but not least, we're going to talk about Lucky, and then we're going to wrap up this video. And I do apologize for it being so long as it is right now. So Lucky, she is a hero that you can only get through VIP. I believe she's up to like VIP 6, 7, or maybe 8. she's fairly inexpensive to max out. So I think a lot of people have maxed out Luckies. So your Lucky is probably around the same level as mine. Mine is a level 72. Her main traits are going to be Hunter, Siege, and Rally. For Explorer, she has 55.8 thousand health. She has an attack of 3.8 thousand and then a defense of 1.8 thousand. And then when you go into her military stats, she has a March cap of 13.1 thousand, Hunter attack of 201.15%, which is really good. I think she has the second highest stats for her level right now, or at least in my arsenal, she's got the second highest stats. And then her Hunter defense is also 2.115%. And then Hunter lethality is 89.45%, and her Hunter health is 74.55%. Her her two boosts that she gets will be enemy settlement troop defense of 31.8%. So that's pretty good. If someone attacks you, you can take away 31.8% of the enemy's troop defense. And then if she is actually the one doing the attacking, she gets a rally troop health bonus of 21.15%. So again, health, very important. Use her as an attacker. That's typically what I do. She's one of my main heroes. I think my main three heroes I use right now is Lucky, Wolfe, and Trish. They're nasty. I promise you. You will do so much damage. And I'll show you guys some reports later in different videos so you guys can see I'm not just BSing you. Her three abilities can give her a troop health bonus of 15%, a troop damage of 160%, and a damage received of -16. So again, I believe there's only 2 or 3 heroes that do this damage received, and Jeb is one of them and Lucky is the other. I can't think of the other person, but yeah. So we have finally gone through all of the heroes, guys, and I'm just gonna go ahead and wrap this video up because it is so long so far. So thank you guys. I just want to say I appreciate you guys being patient with me. I know I've been promising this video for weeks. It's taking a lot to make this video. I had to create an Excel. I have had to edit over and over and over again because it's just been so long and I've tried to crunch it down. But this was the shortest I could get it. If you guys want the Excel that I have that details all of this, let me know in the comments below. Hit me up on Discord. I can send it to you. I'm also going to put timestamps in the comments and in the description so you guys don't have to watch this entire video to see the details of whatever hero that you want to see specifically, because if you don't have legendaries, why would you watch the legendary portion, correct? So I'm going to make sure all that is taken care of for you guys. Again, I appreciate you so much. Please like, subscribe, comment. I do this just for fun. I do it for you guys. And stay tuned for more here at StickyFang Gaming.
빗줄 잃은 너의 두 눈동자여 지난 모든 기억들을 지워줘